Recording in progress.
Good morning, Unity of Payson.
Good morning.
I'm delighted to see you all, both those of you who are here in front of me physically, and I can see you with these eyes. And I'm glad to see you who are joining us virtually as well, although I have to take and use my imagination a bit more. Today is the first Sunday in February, and it is the first Sunday in the season for nonviolence. And our theme is love for February. So how about putting all those things together and bringing our presence here with the presence of the One, giving our attention to this time and this place as we open in prayer. God of all goodness. We are grateful. Grateful for the heritage that we have as sons and daughters and children and expressions of the divine. Our heritage is one of love. And we have the wonderful opportunity to live it out. So this morning as we gather, I am grateful for everyone who is here considering love and looking to live it out in this world from hour to hour, day to day, and even moment to moment. Again, we are grateful for this time together, and so it is. Amen. So we're gonna
And so it is. And our opening song is...
This is our platform person virtually.
I'm Donna. Hi. Our opening song is Song in My Soul by Karen Drucker. Use this time to meet and greet.
There is a song in my soul. It sings, I am whole. Everywhere I go, it sings, I am whole. There is a song in my soul. It sings, I am whole. Everywhere I go, it sings, I am whole. 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 I am whole, I am whole, I am whole, I am whole. There is a song in my soul, it sings, I am healed. I take a breath and know that I am healed. There is a song in my soul, it sings, I am healed. I take a breath and know that I am healed. I am healed, 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 I am healed. There is a song in my heart, it sings, I am loved. It whispers in my ear that I am loved. There is a song in my heart, it sings, I am loved. It whispers in my ear that I am loved. I am loved, 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 I am loved. a song in my soul. It sings of my joy. It bubbles up from deep inside. Pure, sweet joy. I am 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 joy.
But let's go on to Don. Keep going.
Okay, well, it's time to welcome everyone, all of you, again. Welcome to Unity of Payson. We're so glad you're with us this morning. We're together virtually and we're together in person. Please let us know where you're joining from in the chat. We want to recognize those who are new to Unity of Payson. If you're here for the first or second time, let's recognize you. Let us recognize you. I see someone online named Justin. Justin, are you willing to unmute and tell us how you found us? Don't see any unmuting happening.
Donna,
All right.
I'm gonna break
Well,
in.
you can put
We have someone new here in person. I'd
All
like
right.
to welcome Sue, who has joined us today.
Welcome, Sue. We invite you to remain after the service. We will be having potluck in person and breaking bread online, which is a time to talk about the message and connect more deeply with each other. It's about 20 minutes after the service. If you'd like to be informed of our weekly activities, we have a Monday e-newsletter. Leave us your email in the chat or go to unityofpayson.org and leave us a message. Again, we warmly welcome you. And from our Unity of Payson family, we say together, we love you, we bless you, and we welcome you. And now it's time for gratitudes. We're grateful for those who support Unity of Payson with your time, with your talent, and with your treasures. We're grateful for all the events we're able to hold, many of them virtually on this channel, including Morning Cafe, Monday through Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Arizona time. It's a time when we look at the daily word or read an inspirational reading and discuss. 30 minutes, great way to start the day. We have Qigong and Tai Chi on Sundays and Wednesdays at 4:30 on this channel, led by Teresa. And we also have organic gardening with Ram at Shanti Homestead. We're thankful for the technology that allows us to meet in person and virtually. If you have a gratitude to share, please raise your hand. And if you're online, please raise your hand and unmute. And mute again when you're done. Anybody have a gratitude? And we'll need somebody at the podium to let us hear the gratitudes from in person.
I'm looking for a hand here. I don't see one yet.
Okay.
I want to say thank you to Tom.
Hey, go ahead and tell us what he said, Neil.
I'll do it. Rick is grateful for Tom, who is normally sitting in that seat over there. He is our AV expert, and it's his birthday, and he's visiting family in the valley. And we called him, and he answered his phone because we really needed him about a half an hour ago. So that's a great gratitude. Thank you, Rick. Anybody else here in person?
I have something in the chat. We have hello from Dave and Linda in Tonto Basin.
Yes, Dave and Linda, thank you for being with us. I think this is 3 or 4 weeks that you've joined us, and we had a chance to meet the other day. I'm sure you'll have a chance too. They said at some potluck in the future, they're bound to be here.
All
Anybody
right.
else in person? No, I think Donna, take it away.
Unity is grounded in meditation and affirmative prayer. We have trained prayer chaplains to support you. Our chaplains are available to pray with you. You may call the church phone or email your request to Rev Neal. And the address is on the screen, neal.unityofpayson@gmail.com. Our prayer team in Silent Unity will join you in prayer for 60 days. We pray for 30 days, and we send your request to Silent Unity, and they pray another 30 days. And that's 24/7. We have a prayer request on the back table also for those in person who would like to put in a prayer request. If you want to be contacted by a prayer chaplain, please put your contact information on your request or leave it with your request. All right, and next, Unity of Payson's theme for February. Guess what it is? Love. And I'm in red today, and I have hearts in back of me. So let's say the affirmation together. I am loved and lifted up. So it is. Our speaker today is Rev Neal Worthington, and the topic of his talk is the origin of love. There's an echo while I'm speaking, and we can hear it online. Today's daily word is healing. And the affirmation is, my faith is making me well. If you can mute from where you're sitting there, Rick, I think that might help. Unity co-founder Myrtle Fillmore's healing journey began when she changed her mind. Inspired by the words of a healing practitioner, E.B. Weeks, in the late 1800s, she took this affirmation to heart. I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. After 2 years of persistent health-affirming meditation, prayer, and practice, Myrtle was healed. Her faith made her well. Myrtle lived joyously and vigorously for many years. I take inspiration from this story. I, too, am a living expression of God. I feel my body's quickening response as I claim my inheritance of divine life, vibrantly active in every cell of my body. Good nutrition, exercise, and rest support my healing practice. My faith makes me well. He said to her, daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed. Mark 5:34. Today's the first Sunday, so we do our Unity mission and vision statements. Join with me in heart and mind as we affirm our mission and vision. Our mission statement together. We are a welcoming and open-hearted community, inspiring each other to live in love, joy, and service. Vision statement. Together, we enrich our world through spirit-centered service, positive human connections, and stewardship of all creation. And now our speaker, Reverend Neal, will share the message with us. I just want to note that if there's any audio issues, you can turn up the sound on your device, and that should help.
Do you remember that movie named Oliver, an adaptation of Charles Dickens? Anybody remember it? Anybody here in person? Well, I see a lot of you do that. Well, if you remember, Oliver was an orphan. His mother died at his birth, and he was an orphan. And as an orphan in that time, he was relegated to what was called a workhouse. And in that dark and austere workhouse were, in the movie, a number of boys who gathered at one point to sit at a table and be benefited, maybe, by a bowl of gruel, because that was all they had to eat. And also, a little later in that movie, you see the wistful yearning of Oliver when he sings, and such a beautiful song it is, "Where is love? Does it fall from skies above? Is it underneath the willow tree that I've been dreaming of?" So when we begin our discussion of love in this month, where is love? What is the origin of love? And that's what we're going to consider today. And not only will we talk about what is love, because we need to try and define that first, we're going to move on to say, well, where does it come from? And how does it get to me? How does it get to me? So that's what we'll look at today. When I prepare these messages, I usually look for something that resonates with me, and I call it a key spiritual truth. And here's the key spiritual truth I came up with for today as we consider the origin of love. Love is the eternal force of good that flows from source to and through all of creation, including me. I'm going to say it once more. Love is the eternal force of good that flows from source to and through all of creation, including me. So what is love? Well, it's not, and if you have been a student of the New Testament in the Christian scriptures, you may have run across 6 words for love. Different words that express different aspects of love. But love is not those words. Those words are an expression of love. Or you may have read a book by Gary Chapman called The 5 Love Languages. One of those languages of love is affirmation. And that's wonderful, and we talk about that at Unity a lot. But in and of itself, affirmation is not love. Let's look a little further to find out what love is. In the Christian scriptures, 1 John 4, 7 and 8, it says, "Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. God is love." Now, there are many of us, I know this about some of you, there are many of us who have trouble with the language, the little 3-letter word, God. And so we choose something that is a God of our understanding, a phrase that indicates something that really relates and resonates with us. Today we're going to consider one of those phrases and kind of put that at the foremost, and that's the phrase source. I know you like this one, Betty. Source. So I'm going to I'm going to paraphrase that scripture I just read from 1 John, and I'll put it like this. Let us love one another because love comes from source. Those who truly love understand that they come from Source. Source is love. When I tried to say how can we bring the idea of Source being a force of love that comes to and through all of us, and it's beyond our comprehension, it's eternal, it's ever present, I ran across, well, actually I remembered a letter that was written by Albert Einstein. It was prior to his death, just a little bit, and he wrote a letter to his daughter, Liesel, and I'm going to give you some excerpts from that letter, because this is the renowned scientist Albert Einstein, who perhaps articulates this better than many theologians do. Here's what Einstein said. There is an extremely powerful force that so far science has not found a formal explanation to. It is a force that includes and governs all others and is even behind any phenomenon operating in the universe and has not yet been identified by us. This universal force is love. Love is God, and God is love. This force explains everything and gives meaning to life. Love is the most powerful force there is because it has no limits. After the failure of humanity in the use and control of the other forces of the universe that have turned against us, it is urgent that we nourish ourselves with another kind of energy. When we learn to give and receive this universal energy, dear Liesel, we will have affirmed that love conquers all, is able to transcend everything and anything, because love is the quintessence of life. Did you get what Einstein said in that letter? Love is a force. Love is an energy. It's not the expressions that we know. It's not the words that we know. But love is a force that is universal, that is ever present, that is eternal. And that's a little difficult for us to think in terms of the eternal. But let me go back to that key spiritual truth, having talked about love as a force. And here it is again. Love is the eternal force of good that flows from Source. Let me say a word about eternal. We sometimes think and say that we are we're not a physical being, we're a spiritual being having a physical experience. We don't have a start, we don't have a finish. Well, you know what? That's what's true of love. No start, no finish. Love, that universal energy and force. But let's go on. Let's look at the idea of where love comes from. The creation story has 7 days of creation, and we see the waters created and the light created and all of the creatures. But in those 7 days, we don't see any creation of love. I wonder why that is. What does God's source have to do with this? We think of God as being participant in creation. He's the one who created, or at least that's a traditional view. But what about love in there? Where does it fit? I think that it fits in the eternality. Is that a word? I'm making it a word if it's not. In the eternality of all that is. Doesn't have a beginning, doesn't have an ending, and the very nature, the very fabric of the universe is love. That force above all others, that energy that cannot be denied. And we know from our unity understanding that love is within us, source is within us. The divine is within us, however you want to put it. It's not something out there separate from us. And so, if we say in that, oh, by the way, I didn't say it, on that, in the movie Oliver, on that workhouse wall, that stark workhouse wall, was a big sign, God is love. Didn't seem like a very loving place, but God is love, and we equate the divine, the source, with love. So I like to say, source is force. Unity's first principle reflects the truth of this eternality of love and this ever-present reality of love. It goes like this, if you don't remember it. There is only one presence, one power, and I could change this to force. There is only one force active in the universe and in my life, God the good, the omnipotent. In a very succinct way, in the book, The Five Principles, that first principle is simply God is. So we could say source is. We could say love is. No beginning, no ending. We all have probably read that chapter in 1 Corinthians, that love chapter. Love chapter has in verse 8 this simple statement: love never ends. Love never ends. As I was doing a little research, I ran on a book called No Beginning, No End. And then the subtitle was The Intimate Heart of Zen. Comes from a Zen teacher named Joshua Kwong. And this one phrase really stuck out to me. Here it is. Source, the empty essence from which the whole universe springs forth. We could say love, the essence from which the whole universe springs forth. So we don't have to go looking for it. It's there. It's part of the fabric of the universe. It's part of you and me. For many of us, unfully expressed, but it is there. It's absolutely and never without the ability of access. Love is the eternal force of good that flows from source into and through all of creation, always. So now the big question, how does it get to me? I'm not much of a singer, but I'm going to try something here. We get hints from popular culture sometimes about spiritual truth. Anybody remember this song? I feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my toes, and then it goes, love is all around me, and so the feeling grows. Got through that. The group was, interesting name, Wet, Wet, Wet. But the truth is there. Love is all around us. How does it come to us? It's just there. There's another song written a few years earlier, a contemporary of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, Clara H. Scott, wrote a song that if you're from a traditional church background and you know hymns pretty well, there's one that you probably know that she wrote, and that is Open My Eyes That I Can See. But she also wrote this. God is love, that love surrounds me. In that love I safely dwell. 'Tis above, beneath, within me, love is mine and all is well. God is love, pure love. God is love, sweet love. That love is mine, and all is well. That love is there all around us, and we have the opportunity to consciously and intentionally express that love. We're working on that. We got a kindness project here budding, and you'll hear a lot more about it. But how can we get in touch with that divine love, that love from source that is within, around, all around me, and express it in the world? Love is eternal. Love is here now. As all, everything, and as you. So I usually look back to what we've said in the opening bit of the message, and I want to go back to Albert Einstein and just a couple of short paragraphs that were part of that letter that I didn't read earlier. Perhaps we are not yet ready to make a bomb of love, a device powerful enough to entirely destroy the hate, selfishness, and greed that devastate the planet. However, each individual carries within them a small but powerful generator of love, whose energy is waiting to be released. That's the truth. Put in a few words. Love is the eternal force of good that flows from source to and through all of creation, including us, the origin of love, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Neal. I was wondering about that origin of love. So let's prepare for meditation now as we listen to our meditation song, Center of the Heart by Jan Garrett. And Reverend Neal, please hold the mic close to your mouth when you do the meditation. Thank you.
We're going to go on to a time of meditation. We sometimes don't have the technology working really well for us, and at the moment it's not. But that doesn't keep us from experiencing, knowing love. Often at the end of a message, I'll say, how do I do that? And I was thinking about, well, what can I say? What steps can I suggest? And none came to me except for one. And that one is to sit in the silence and experience love. So together, let's do that. And then you may want to do that repeatedly during the week. Take a deep breath. Be quiet and be here now. As you sit in the quiet, imagine as grand a picture as you possibly can. One that's so big that stretches beyond the biggest picture you've ever seen. Perhaps it's a universe. Perhaps it's reaching beyond what the James Webb Telescope can share with us by photograph. Think of the biggest picture you probably can think of. The universe or the universes. Think of all of that and sit in awe of it. And contemplate those universes, that big picture. And look for the very fabric of it. Look for the nature of that universe. And you will find that as you look and open your heart, it is a nature of goodness, a nature made of love. So after you've looked at that large picture and you've spotted the very nature of all that is, zoom back in. And when you zoom in, come to yourself. And think of what's around you. Think of what surrounds you. And look for the love that is there. And think of yourself, your best self, your highest self. That which you find by looking within. And look for love there, and you will find it. For that love, whether it's out in the grand scheme of things or in your experience of the world, love is there. Just take a moment in the silence to contemplate the eternal, ever-present love that is all that is and is part of your experience individually. Take a moment to contemplate love. Do you feel it in your fingers or your toes or your heart? I do. And if you haven't yet, you will. Consider love. Do that throughout the week. Take a few moments here and there to consider love, and you will know it. Bring your attention now back to this time and this place. If you've had your eyes closed, you might want to open your eyes, wiggle those fingers that are part of the feeling that goes with love, on the toes, and be here now. And so it is.
And so it is. We're going to move down from the message slide to the offering slide. And while that's happening, I just want to say something about the silence. The silence, I think, can be accessed more easily when we have taken some deep breaths and we have fixed our gaze, lowered our gaze and fix it, which helps the mind to stop racing and the nervous system to slow down. So taking some deep breaths and long exhales and fixing your gaze whenever the mind starts to go and the body feels anxious can really help you access the silence. Thank you, Reverend Neal. So now it's time for our offering. Two more slides.
Our technology is stuck.
It's coming.
Just have to go.
There's the meditation song.
Oh, it got unstuck.
Let's go ahead and play it.
Let's
play it.
take a time to listen to this because it's a beautiful song. Get back to that place.
And while you're listening, you can go to the unityofpayson.org. If you'd like to contribute.
Here we are at the perfect time and the perfect place, showing up with an open mind and all this space. Anything can happen here. We all play a part. Here's an invitation to the center of the heart. Take my hand. Here we go. What's the plan? We don't have to know. Take a breath, make a start. Welcome home to the center of the heart. Here we are at the perfect time and the perfect place, showing up with an open mind and all this space. Anything can happen here. We all play our part. We're all in this together at the center of the heart. Take my hand. Here we go. What's the plan? We don't have to know. Take a breath, make a start. Welcome home to the center of the heart. Welcome home to the center of the heart.
So now is the time to share our gifts and our offerings. Unity of Payson greatly appreciates your gifts in support of this ministry. The information for giving is on the slides. Let's bring our attention to our gift at this time. And let's call to mind our heart's desires. And together we affirm, freely we give, and freely we receive.
And we'll go ahead for our dedication of the offering now. Two slides ahead, I think, Rick. Keep going.
Okay. Well,
Okay, we're gonna try to go through the dedication of the offering now. See if you can
it's the
find that
next slide after the Gathering of Spirit song. So as we're looking for the dedication slide, let's take a couple of breaths and get centered before we do our dedication.
We're getting there. Oh, Tom, we love you.
Okay, so let's focus on our time to dedicate the offering now. If you just listen to my voice and focus on my voice, we are grateful for these gifts and for the abundance that they will provide. We bless these gifts and we bless all those who give. And the next slide is the dedication of the offering. Yay! Here we go together. Divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. We are abundantly prosperous, and we are grateful. And so it is. Next Sunday's speaker, next slide, please. Unity of Payson events and announcements we are going to discuss right now. Next Sunday's speaker is Rev Neal Worthington, and his talk title is Loving and Being Loved. We continue, of course, with our theme, love, and the affirmation, I am loved and lifted up. I will share a few announcements with you. Again, our regular weekly events, our morning cafe, Monday through Saturday at 9:30 a.m. on this channel. Qigong and Tai Chi, Sundays and Wednesdays at 4:30 on this channel. We have a writers group coming up. It's on the fourth Thursday of the month, not coming up right away. And we have our monthly potlucks on the first Sunday, which is today, and the next one is March 5th. So some activities coming up. A Course in Miracles with Reverend Neal, Tuesday, February 7th and the 21st, 6 p.m. on Zoom. And that's the first and the third Tuesday of the month. We have a speaker hosted by Woman of Faith, CEO Debbie Stephen, at the Payson United Methodist Church, Thursday, February 9th at 2 p.m. Going to speak about the new senior center and the plans for that. We have Saturday, February 11th at 10 a.m. at the Sawmill Theater, the movie Selma, which will be our spiritual cinema for February. And Reverend Neal is starting a book study on 5 Wednesdays beginning February 22nd at 3 p.m. both in person and on Zoom. And we have a PS from Neil.
I just want to say a word about that book study. It's a book that's been around for quite some time, but it's time to revisit it. At least that's the way I feel about it. And several people have come to me and said, we'd like to take a look at that again. So get on Amazon if you don't have it, or someplace, and find that book. It's got to be around. And you can have it and begin to read that, maybe the first couple chapters prior to that first meeting. And if you're interested, let me know, and I'll make sure to get you on a mail list of the people that I know that'll be involved, and get you any information that's necessary. That's exciting. Upcoming, save the date, March 12th. March 12th will be a concert for kindness here at the Methodist Church, but down in what they call Celebration Hall, the big sanctuary. And one of your favorite artists will be there, Daniel Nahmod. He will be here, and we will have this concert for kindness. We've been connecting with him, and he's got it. He gets the idea that this is a community-wide thing. It's not just something for Unity of Payson or the Methodist Church, but a community-wide. Something we can all come together on. We can think of kindness as an expression of love, actually. And that's about it. I think we'll go on to our peace song here in person. If you want to stand and gather around as we sing the peace song, and then to end it will be the prayer for protection.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that is meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, this is my joyous thought. I take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
And together we say the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. And the presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. It's not over yet, folks. There's stuff really happening still. A potluck is being prepared in the back, and we hope you'll join there. But if you'd like to converse just a little bit more while that's getting started, we'll save some food for you. We'll come back here after 5 minutes. And for those of you who are with us virtually, come back in 5 minutes. We'll just sit for a little bit of conversation, a time to connect, and maybe speak a little bit more about love. See you in 5 minutes.